Hey everybody! This is Tyos87, and I want to do a quick update real fast. I'm making like an adventure map on Minecraft, which if you got the PC version, you're welcome to play it once it's done. I have the link to what the first area looks like. Anyways, on to the show of let's read Steven not Steven. Universe Falls of Chapter 3, The First Meeting. As it turned out, the hill behind the statue was much steeper and more unkempt than it seemed from afar, something that Dipper and Mabel quickly discovered as they began to scale it. There was no defined path along the forest incline, and so the twins tried to create their own as they hiked straight up it. And for the most part, they managed to keep to that straightforward, unofficial path, except when Mabel strayed from it for a brief instance to chase after a squirrel she claimed was, quote-unquote, impossibly cute. "Come on, Dipper," Mabel called back to her brother, noticing that she had taken the lead as they got closer to the top of the hill. "Hurry up! I want to see those magical ladies Zeus was talking about." "Oh, hold on," Dipper exclaimed breathlessly, practically running to keep up with Mabel's pace, which, considering they were on a restlessly uphill trek, was certainly starting to wear him out. I'm on my way." His exhaustion was getting to the better of him. Dipper finally had to pause to catch his breath as he doubled over, clearly overwhelmed by the thick summer heat of the afternoon. "Seriously? You're tired already?" Mabel asked with a teasing laugh as she leapt up on a nearby rock and grinned down at him from above. See, this is what happens when you spend all your time with your nose in a dumb book instead of having fun like I do. "You're out of shape." "No, I'm not," Dipper protests amidst recovering, though Mabel was as privy to his embarrassment over his lack of stamina. "This hill's is just steeper than I thought it would be." "Yeah, whatever you say, Slowpoke," Mabel said with a good-natured laugh. "I guess I'll just have to put you on the Mabel Pines approved workout plan. When paired with 10 packs of sugar each morning, it's guaranteed to pump you up in endless energy or your money back." "You've been spending too much time with Grunkle Stan," Dipper said as he laughed at Mabel's unique brand of humor, finally pressing on as he caught up to her. "So do you really think a group of magical women live up there?" he asked her as they edged closer to the top side by side. I hope so, Mabel exclaimed with a hopeful grin. "That would be so cool! Way cooler than my boyfriend turning out to be a bunch of gnomes, at least. And hopefully less unexpectedly dangerous," Dipper added, remembering how they almost been bested by a clan of little men the previous day. "But even if these women aren't real, I'm sure we find something interesting up there. It only makes sense considering how weird this town's turning out to be." "Heck, you're the weird one, you dork," Mabel joked, giving her brother a small punch in the arm. Not any weirder than you are, Dipper retorted with a smirk, watching it as his point was mute, mutely proven by Mabel finishing up with the impromptu craft project she had been working on for the past several minutes. A shish kebab composed of pine cones, leaves, and mushroom caps, all skewered on a long stick. We're both weird, Mabel proclaimed enthusiastically, swinging her nature kebab around for fun. That's what makes us so great. Yeah, Dipper agreed with a small laugh, taking pleasure in his sister's effervescent personality and how it bolstered their already impeccably strong sibling bond. However, the warm sentiments between the twins were soon broken as the strange rustling in the nearby tree line caught Dipper's attention. Mabel, did you hear that? He asked, his tone slightly tense he as he placed a hand on his sister's shoulder in order to get her to stop walking. After all, they were treading on unknown territory, and thought and though it could be very well be nothing, Dipper believed it was always better to err on the side of caution instead of throwing it to the wind. Mabel poised an ear towards the forest and listened intently for a moment before scoffing Dipper's concerned aside. What, you mean the wind? She asked, having heard the rustling as well, though she couldn't believe to be anything important. Or maybe it's just that adorable squirrel again. I bet he wants another hug. After how you nearly suffocated him last time, I highly doubt that, Dipper said with a frown. I'm serious, Mabel. That rustling was too loud to be wind. So, what? What? Do you think it's some huge, scary monster or something waiting in the woods to gobble up two kids for dinner? Mabel asked, her tone jokingly overdramatic as she picked fun at her brother's usual paranoia. Well, to be honest, you'd be dinner. I'd be dessert, because, like I said earlier, 10 packs of sugar a day. Come on, Mabel, this is serious, Dipper stressed, somewhat aggravated over how Mabel liked to play things this off unserious way. What if there really are something in there? I'm sure it's nothing, Mabel said with an unconcerned shrug. It's probably just. She was abruptly cut off, however, by the sound of a startled shout breaking through the trees nearby. Lion, wait! Where are you going? The unknown yet unconcerned voice called out from the woods closer to the cliff face. However, before either Dipper or Mabel had a chance to react to it, or even wonder who it was, they were both taken by complete surprise to see a large pink fur emerge from the thick woods. And even more surprising was that in a brief millisecond in which it was rushing straight towards both the twins, this blur was actually, beyond all explanation, a large pink lion. Both Dipper and Mabel let out simultaneous cries of shock and fear upon seeing the pestle beast that was racing for them at the frightening speed. Neither of them have ever anticipated encountering a lion of all things in the woods of Oregon. What they failed to see in the midst of their panic over possibly being mauled by this monster were two figures mounted upon its back both of them holding for dear life as their ride inexplicably trailed off to their original downhill course. Regardless, the lion was untethered as it bounded towards the frightened twins, viewing them as little more than unwarranted trespassers on its turf. Though Mabel was quick enough reflexes to leap out of its lion's path before it could pounce on them both, Dipper was not so lucky. Before he could escape out of his range, the pink beast pounced upon him, knocking him to the ground with little effort. Mabel gasped in fear and worry upon seeing her brother be taken down. And Dipper was in a state of absolute panic as he desperately tried to wiggle it out from underneath the lion's heavy paws pressed against his wrists. The lion growled and bared its deadly teeth as it glared down at its catch, while Mabel was more than ready to leap into action and tried to save her brother despite her fear of the strange creature, and Dipper was ready to accept the fate at the maw of this pastel beast. A miraculous intervention prevented both of these things just in time. Hold on. Lion, stop that! The same youthful voice had preceded the lion's appearance and called out disapprovingly, "What have I told you about attacking people? It's rude!" Dipper was both immensely relieved and admittedly confused as the lion thankfully did as it was told and backed off, allowing him to finally release the anxious breath that he's been holding in throughout this near-death experience. Mabel didn't hesitate to rush by his side and help him off the ground, though the lion continued to keep them both in its distrustful gaze as it upheld its tall, prideful posture. "Hey, are you guys okay?" One of the two people who were sitting on Lion's back asked if they were both peeked around the beast's magnificently poofy mane, finally allowing the twins to see that they were actually kids about their age. Sitting closer to the front was a young boy with a somewhat stocky build, short, bushy, dark brown hair, wearing jeans and a dark pink shirt with a star on it. His wide, innocent eyes were filled with concern as he frowned at the twins, while at the same time petting Lion's neck smoothly in order to calm it down. Behind him sat a girl who looked just to be a bit taller than the boy, with darker skin, weight-length dark brown hair, clad in a simple white top and teal shorts, a pair of maroon-framed glasses perched upon her nose. Yeah, Dipper said a bit breathlessly as him and Mabel exchanged a look of equal bewilderment upon seeing a kid only about as old as they were tame such a savage beast. "Thanks. You're welcome," the boy replied with a cheerful smile. "Sorry about that, though. Lion can get kinda overprotective at times." He let out a slightly embarrassed laugh at this, giving the beast an affectionate pat on the head, though the lion simply brushed the gesture off boredly. "This is your lion?" Mabel asked, her eyes wide with amazement as she quickly broke out an excited smile now that the pink beast had calmed down to the point of being harmless. "You're so lucky, and he's so cute. You do remember how he nearly killed me a few seconds ago, right?" Dipper asked, giving his sister a skeptical frown as he opted out of joining her and being closer to the large pastel creature. Though the lion initially growled as it watched Mabel get closer, but upon being admonished by the boy yet again, he was quick to refrain and begrudgingly let her get close enough to stroke its luxurious mane. "Aw," Mabel gushed as it pressed her face into the lion's mane. "He's so soft, too! Like a walking cloud of cotton candy, but with teeth! I know, right?" the boy asked with a wide grin as both him and the girl let off Lion's back. "He makes a great pillow, too!" he exclaimed with a laugh as he gave the pink beast another friendly pat. "I'm Steven, by the way. You already met Lion, of course," he said, giving a smile with his pink companion to his pink companion. "And this is my friend Connie," he said, referring to the girl beside him. "Nice to meet you." Connie politely agreed, even if it was by accident. "I'm Dipper, and the girl losing herself inside your lion's mane is my sister Mabel," Dipper said, grinning in slight amusement at Mabel, who was still completely enthralled by Lion's silky fur. "So soft!" Mabel exclaimed to prove her point, even if her words were muffled as she continued to press herself into the pink beast's mane. Unlike before, Lion had simply ignored the presence of both the twins as he stoically sat down, closing his eyes in an attempt to resume the rest that he'd been begrudgingly aroused from thanks to Steven. "So, what are you two doing up here by yourselves anyway?" Connie inquired curiously. "Yeah," Steven added, wondering the same thing, considering the fact that it wasn't often he encountered anyone on the hillside. "The only thing up here is the temple, and if you want to go there, then there's a much easier way than climbing the hill, you know." "Temple?" Dipper asked, his interest piqued. "Yeah, the temple," Steven said, throwing his arm out on the towards the cliff face, or rather the statue itself. "It's where me and the crystal gems live." "Crystal what?" Dipper asked, however, before his question can be answered, Mabel finally broke free from Lion's mane, taking in a deep breath to reclaim lost air. "Too much softness," she exclaimed between heavy breaths, having nearly suffocated herself amidst the pink giant's warm, velvety fur. Regardless, she was still enchanted by the now relaxed pink beast as she proceeded to give him an affectionate scratch on the ear, which Lion readily accepted it. "Whoa!" Steven exclaimed excitedly as he looked to Mabel with literal stars in his eyes. "I love your sweater. It's kind of like my shirt," he said, pointing to the article of clothing in question, showing that Mabel's sweater was somewhat similar to it in their dark pink color and their star designs, though the sweater bore a shooting star to be precise. "Well, kinda," Steven said with a shrug. "Yeah, I guess it is," Mabel agreed with a wide smile. "I'm glad you like it. All of my sweaters are handmade by yours truly. You know, if you really wanted one, I'd be more than happy to make you one for you, free of charge." "Oh, yeah!" Steven exclaimed enthusiastically. "Maybe you can even make matching ones for you and me, or me and Connie, or all four of us. Oh my gosh!" Mabel practically squealed with joy over the prospect of getting to design so many new sweaters. "That sounds so awesome! Then we can all be sweater buddies." At this point, both Mabel and Steven were practically caught up in their overactive imaginations concerning this matter, and though both Connie and Dipper were mildly amused by this. The foreman was ultimately the one to break up in favor of more practical concerns. Wait, Dipper said, interrupting the sweatery, eccentric conversation as he looked at Steven. A minute ago, you said something about crystal gems. Who are they? All right, Steven said, still smiling as he was always eager to talk about the gems to anyone who would listen. The crystal gems are garnet, amethyst, pearl, and me. We use magic from our gems to fight monsters that protect humanity and stuff. So the rumors about magical talking guardians living up here are actually true? Dipper asked a bit skeptically, unsure if Steven was actually being serious or not. Believe it or not, they are, Connie confirmed with a small smile. Steven's proof of that. Yeah, well, Steven began to a bit bashfully, giving Connie an embarrassed grin. I'm only half magic. My dad's a human, but my mom's a gem. See? To show the twins what he meant, he lifted his shirt up to reveal a rose quartz gem upon its navel. Whoa! Both Dipper and Mabel said in equal awe examining the pink gem. Unbelievable! Dipper muttered in amazement upon realizing that the gem was actually real and not just a decoration. Sparkly! Mabel whispered with a stunned expression, her eyes reflecting the shine of Steven's gem as it glistened in the afternoon sun. What's it do? The gems tell me that my mom used to use it to do lots of stuff, Steven said, lowering his shirt once more. But I'm still learning how to use it. So far, I'm used to make a shield in a bubble. In fact, the bubble is how Connie and me met. Yeah, Connie said with a slight laugh at the memory at their initial meeting a few months ago. We got trapped in it for several hours, and we nearly drowned at the bottom of the lake. Other than that, it was a pretty good day. Plus, we beat a giant worm monster and saved the town. Yeah, this town has some weird stuff going on in it, Connie said, knowing that the aforementioned worm monster wasn't the only anomaly that her and Steven encountered in Gravity Falls since their meeting. Finally, someone else who notices how strange this place is, Dipper exclaimed, excited that he was not alone in thinking that Gravity Falls was a notably odd little town. Sorry. I've been saying that since we got here. We've been here in less than a week, and already we faced off against a bunch of gnomes stacked together into a giant monster. I learned a valuable lesson there, Mabel said with a joking frown. Never go out with gnomes in disguise. Oh, you guys met the gnomes? Steven asked with interest, having encountered the little man in the past since he lived in Gravity Falls all his life, and had plenty of time to casually happen upon its stranger facets. Yeah, they can get a little crazy when they don't get what they want. One time, they stole my donut, and I spent all day chasing them down to get it back. Weird thing is that they didn't even want to eat it. They just want to use it as a wheel for the little gnome car that they were building. It was actually kind of cute, even if I never did get that donut back. So you two have only been in Gravity Falls for a few days? How did you move here? No, we're only here for the summer, Dipper clarified. We're staying with our great Uncle Stan down at the Mystery Shack. Wait, Mr. Pines is your uncle? Stephen asked with a gasp I can't say anything right. Stephen asked with a gasp of surprise. That's so cool! The Mystery Shack is one of the favorite places in Gravity Falls, along with the temple and lake and the Big Donut and Funland Arcade and Grizzly's Diner and I think they get it, Stephen. Connie interrupted with a giggle. What a coincidence, though. We were just on our way down to the Mystery Shack before we ran into you guys. And we're on our way up here to check out that giant 8-armed woman, Mabel said, referring to what her and Dipper now knew about to be some sort of temple, thanks to Stephen. Isn't that crazy? It's almost like fate or something. Or it was Lion just going through his rebellious stage, Stephen said with a laugh as he playfully pressed his hands against the sides of his companion's fuzzy face. Lion retaliated with a sudden interruption from his standing nap, however, with a simple long lick soaking Stephen's face in saliva, causing him to recoil in slight disgust. "Oh, Lion!" Stephen exclaimed as he pushed Lion away, chuckling along with Connie, Dipper, and Mabel over the pink beast's ornery behavior. Gross! The four kids continued to laugh over the humorous scene, none of them thinking too much about the camaraderie and roots of friendship that they have been planted between them all. And another thing that none of them would have ever thought of to think about was that Mabel had, in a way, actually been right in joking about fate being the thing that brought them all together. None of them could have known, upon that innocent, seemingly accidental first meeting upon the hillside on that early summer's day, of the adventures that would have, the challenges they would face, the mysteries they would solve, the magic they would discover, or the bonds they would form together. After all, the summer has only just begun. And this concludes chapter 3. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. If you want to subscribe to my channel, like, comment, and subscribe to my stuff, which I will have plenty more of random things to do in the future. Anyway, I got to leave. Bye-bye! Yeah.